Batman just might be the most celebrated hero in the DC universe, despite stiff competition from other A-list heroes like Superman and Wonder Woman. He's known for not only being the world's greatest detective and an incredible fighter, but also a gadget-laden multi-billionaire.
What are your superpowers again? I'm rich.
Who has usually got just the right gizmo in his famous utility belt to dispatch any of his celebrated rogues gallery. Batman's certainly highly skilled, but compared to the cosmic heroes and seemingly infinite superpowers of some of his peers, he's pretty down to earth. Despite his background as an earthbound detective, Batman still often finds himself mixed up in outrageous adventures across space and time. So, here are 5 times Batman traveled back in time. 1. The new cowboys in town. Time travel features in some episodes of the Justice League Unlimited animated series, so buckle up, partner, for the rootin' tootin'est episode of JLU ever. The Once and Future Thing Part 1, Weird Western Tales. The hapless Professor David Clinton invents a chronosuit and uses it to steal precious objects through time for his collection. This doesn't impress his shrewish wife at all, and after a big argument, he uses the device to escape her constant belittling. When he travels to the Watchtower to steal Batman's utility belt, he's almost caught by Batman, John Stewart, and Wonder Woman, who follow him through a time tunnel and soon find themselves in Oklahoma in 1879. Cowboy country. But far from being a traditional cowboy story, we soon find out that all this tampering with history has led to some pretty weird threats, with Batman battling velociraptors, android exoskeletons, and an extra-dimensional six-gun just for starters. It soon transpires that the town of Elkhorn has been taken over by the dastardly Tobias Manning, who stole the chronosuit when Clinton appeared 6 months before the League due to the many mind-bending qualities of time tunnels. He's been gallivanting through time and bringing back the spoils to the Wild West, where the future tech looks like magic. Tobias Manning is brought to justice with help from local heroes Jonah Hex, El Diablo, and Ohiasa Smith. The episode is bursting with fan service. Even its title is a reference to Weird Western Tales featuring Batlash and Jonah Hex. Culture vultures will find loads to love, with references galore to the likes of Maverick, Once Upon a Time in the West, City Slickers, and more. It ends on a cliffhanger as our heroes are betrayed by Clinton and have to follow him once again, this time 50 years into a very bleak version of the future. But that's another story. 2. The Newbie in Shadows. One thing we all know about Batman is he is tough with newbies. If you don't believe me, ask Dick Grayson, the present Nightwing, or someone outside family, Booster Gold or Firestorm. They will tell you for sure. And this time it is the newest member eligible to be recruited into JL, Blue Beetle. He's on his last hurdle, the trial of Batman. Batman is taking Blue Beetle on a mission to take down Kronos, who has just stolen a small glowing device from the leading tech giant in Gotham City. During the chase, Batman and Beetle end up in Kronos' hideout. They find newspaper cuttings concerning Batman's first case, in which he had brought down gangster Carmine Falcone. 2 heroes confront Kronos, who uses a device to charge his time-traveling gauntlet. After taunting his opponents, Kronos escapes through a time portal. The superheroes follow him and find themselves in a newer version of the same building. Batman quickly realizes that Kronos has traveled back to the time of his first case, intending to alter history and erase Batman from existence. They find the newbie Batman, who is just starting his crime-fighting streak. They discreetly follow the earlier Batman into a confrontation with Falcone. With Falcone and gang open firing on newbie Batman and Kronos throwing time bombs at future heroes, it was one hell of a battle. But with the quick wits of Beetle and intelligence of Batman, the young Batman saves the day. Back in the present, Kronos is arrested, and Batman surprisingly acknowledges Blue Beetle's efforts. Superman and Wonder Woman are shocked, but happily welcome Blue Beetle to the Justice League. 3. The Return of Bruce Wayne. Staying with mind-bending, potentially world-ending adventures, next up we take a look at the maxi-series The Return of Bruce Wayne. Written by everyone's favorite proponent of chaos magic, Grant Morrison, alongside artists Chris Sprouse, Fraser Irving, and others. In this series, an amnesiac Batman travels from era to era, seemingly whenever there's a solar eclipse. The story takes us from Paleolithic mythologizing to a nightmarish witchfinder general vision of the Pilgrims, a pirate's treasure hunt where booty is more important even than the lives of the crew to the legendary pirate Blackbeard, a hard-boiled Norrish Gotham, and finally to Vanishing Point, where the architects have been archiving the entirety of reality from the beginning of time to its end. As we skip through the different styles and epochs, the reader slowly builds up a picture of how the modern Batman symbolism could have its roots in stories far older than we ever imagined. But once again, time travel is incredibly risky, with Batman skipping through reality leading him to accumulate destructive Omega energy. Did Darkseid ever intend to kill him with the Omega Sanction, or did he have an even more epic plan to use the Caped Crusader to destroy reality entirely? Part of the massive Final Crisis event with connections to the definitive Batman epic that includes Batman Rip and the Black Glove, and complementary Time Master's Vanishing Point, The Return of Bruce Wayne, is heavy with mythology and is sure to reward a second reading, or a second look. 4. To the Land of the Rising Sun. Just like the title suggested, our next stop is the Land of Rising Sun, during the years of 15th and 16th centuries. In present day, while battling Gorilla Grodd at Arkham Asylum, Batman is caught in Grodd's Quake Engine time displacement machine and sent to feudal Japan. As soon as he arrives in the vicinity, Batman is chased by samurai Ashigaru soldiers loyal to the Joker. He barely escapes them and reunites with Catwoman, who reveals that she and others arrived in the past 2 years earlier. Batman learns that Gotham's top criminals have become feudal lords, deceiving the Sengoku daimyo and battling for control. To prevent them from altering history, Batman and Catwoman must reach the Quake Engine in Arkham Castle, which was once Arkham Asylum. Batman also discovers that Alfred Pennyworth is in the past and has constructed a Batcave outside Edo. Taking down a single feudal lord is hard, but Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Penguin, Deathstroke, Gorilla Grodd, and Joker, all villains who now turn to feudal lords, is out of league even for Batman. However, that is when he finds out he too is not alone. Batman finds out that in feudal Japan, there is a group who resists the iron rule of feudal lords, an army of ninja led by Ian of the Bat Clan of Hida. Further, Bruce learns that Bat Clan had helped Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, and Robin upon their arrival, and the clan has been waiting for the foreign Bat Ninja, the prophesized Batman, to return and restore order to the Land of Rising Sun. Together with Bat Family, Catwoman, and Ninja Bat Clan, Batman brings the battle to the new villain lords of feudal Japan in a bid to return to Gotham in one piece. 5. The Savior. The final of our quintet of Batman time travel adventures is the most simple, but it has a positive message that makes it stand out from the pack. In the classic issue of Detective Comics number 500, To Kill a Legend, Bruce Wayne is troubled by nightmares, the likes of which he hasn't experienced since he witnessed his parents murder Joe Chill's death in Batman number 47. Unable to get back to sleep, he dons his costume and swoops into the night to fight crime. When Batman follows a would-be mugger into a mysterious fog bank, he finds himself in Crime Alley 40 years ago. He's soon joined by Robin and then, to both of their surprise, Phantom Stranger. The Phantom Stranger presents them with an opportunity that poses a moral quandary for the crime-fighting duo. In this reality, the Waynes are still alive, and they have the chance to change the timeline by preventing their murder from ever happening, perhaps easing the Dark Knight survivor's guilt and improving his quality of life forever. Batman and the Boy Wonder both have very different views on whether making this change is actually a good thing. When Batman sees his family as if they never went away, it's so obvious that he should save this young Bruce from the life of pain and grief that he has lived through. But Robin looks at this young, spoiled Bruce Wayne and can't help but wonder if the tragic death of his parents was the making of the young heir. Without it, would Bruce grow up to be no more than the spoiled playboy that his Bruce only pretends to be? In this world, it appears that there are no superheroes. Is it really ethical to potentially rob them of Batman too? Despite their ethical disagreements, the pair embark on an investigation of the Waynes and butt heads with the Gotham City Police Department, including a young Lieutenant Gordon. They inadvertently change the course of events when they are shaking down gangster Lou Moxon's thugs, and it's almost too late when Batman realizes that his parents' murder is going to be 5 days earlier than he'd assumed. In a final breathless showdown, Batman foils the would-be murderer and saves Martha and Thomas Wayne. The story has an epilogue that shows us that cause and effect isn't always as cut and dried as we might like to believe. Young Bruce Wayne, although not a tragic orphan, is profoundly affected by his near-tragic experience in Crime Alley that fateful night. He started collecting detective novels like Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie, books on true crime investigations and criminal psychology, and training his young body to be ready for future combat. It seems that this timeline is still destined to have a Batman, only this time, instead of being born out of grief and pain, the hero is inspired by hope, gratitude, and awe, showing that in any timeline, Bruce Wayne is destined to become the hero we all know and love. Bonus. 6. the Warlord and Concubine. At the end of movie Legion of Superheroes, Kara contacts Superman about her decision to stay in the 31st century and her new relationship with Brainiac 5. After the call is ended, Batman notifies Superman about the large crater in the middle of city roads in Metropolis. But before long, they are hit and apparently annihilated by a Zeta beam blast. Little did they know that they were being transferred to another timeline, but it was not only Batman and Superman. Wonder Woman too was transferred, as three of them together make the powerful Trinity. All three of them end up in 1950s at the town of Grover's Mill to investigate reports of a crashed UFO. However, this is not the first timeline shift Batman experienced due to the Zeta beam. Before appearing in this era, Batman was first transferred into 1000 BC to the land of Skartaris. This land is supposed to exist within the core of the Earth. It is bowl-shaped, and their sun never sets. There, the warlord Travis Morgan takes a mercenary sent by his archenemy, the wizard Deimos, as a slave to work in the mines without knowing who he really was. But the mercenary offers to take Warlord and his army to Deimos' castle in exchange for freedom and gold. While traveling to the castle, the mercenary struggles with strange memories and sees a vision of an old man who seems to recognize him. Upon reaching the castle, he evades death traps and discovers a throne room filled with treasure, where Mariah and a slave woman are chained. Mercenary feels he is very familiar with the slave woman, and so do her, but neither of them remember who they are or their connection to each other. Still not being able to recognize Diana, Bruce, along with the Warlord and Mariah, battles the villain Deimos until he escapes. Bruce and Diana have waged memories, and both decide they must travel together to regain their memories. In this world, Mercenary, Batman, is the crown prince of a rival tribe to Warlord, and Slave Woman, who is actually the Wonder Woman, is the concubine of that crown prince. Thank you for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, please remember to give a like. It is one click away.